beginning to
wait.
work and
Yes, beta, we are going to revise the chapter 1 and 2 of It So Happened. In the end of the meeting, I'll send a test. You will solve that and check your reading skill also. So you should be careful to mark the points, important points, right? So you may get any question from the chapter. Yes, Gurmanat, start please.
in the beginning, when the world was new and the animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel and he lived in the middle of a howling desert because he did not want to work. He ate sticks and thorns and prickles, and when anybody spoke to him, he said humph, just humph and no more. Presently, the horse came to him on Monday morning with a saddle on his back and said, Camel, oh camel, come out and trot like the rest of us. Humph,
I
said the
hope
camel.
you understand the meaning of trot. Meaning of trot, that is walk like us. Yes, beta.
Humph, said the camel, and the horse went away and told the man. Presently, the dog came to him with a stick in his mouth and said, Camel, oh camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us. Humph, said the camel, and the dog went away and told the man. Presently, the ox came to him with the yoke on his neck and said, Camel, oh camel, come and plow like the rest of us. Humph, said the camel, and the ox went away and told the man. At the end of the day, the man called the horse and the dog and the ox together and said, Three, oh three, I'm very sorry for you, but that humph thing in the desert can't work, or he would have been here by now. So I am going to leave him alone, and you must work double time to make up for it. That made the three very angry, and they held a panchayat on the edge of the desert, and the camel came chewing cud and laughed at them. Then
Gurmanat,
he
wait
said,
please.
Humph.
Wait please. Yes. Simran, unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
Where did the animals go to complain for the first time?
Ma'am, the three animals went to the man to complain about the camel,
Hmm.
and
What,
but
what?
uh, but when but when they complained about the camel to the man said that he is going to leave the camel alone, and the three animals would have to work double time to make up for it.
Yes.
Hearing this, the animals were very angry and they were not satisfied.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Hazel. Hazel,
Yes, ma'am.
you proceed, beta. Okay, Gurmanat, you can mute yourself, please.
Then he said hump and went away again. Presently there came along the jinn who was in charge of all the desert, rolling in a cloud of dust. Jinn of all desert, said the horse, is it right for anyone to be idle? Certainly not, said the jinn. Well, said the horse, there's a thing in the middle of your desert with a long neck and long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke of work since morning. He won't rot, said the gin, whistling. That's my camel. What does he say about it? He says hump and he won't plow, said the ox. Very good, said the gin. I'll hump him if you will kindly wait a minute.
Yes. Wait, please. Yes, Nandini. Nandini.
Yes, ma'am.
Jin is in charge of what? Jin was in charge of what?
Of the desert.
Of the desert. Okay. Jasmilan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What did he told the animals?
He told the animals that he would hump him if if he kindly wait a minute.
Okay. Janvi,
Yes, ma'am.
proceed with the chapter, beta.
Okay, ma'am. My friend, said the Jinn, what's this I hear of your doing no work? The Jinn sat down with his chin in his hand, while the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. You have given this free extra work ever since Monday morning, all on your account of your idleness, said the Jinn, and he went off thinking with his chin in his hand. Hump, said the camel. I shouldn't say that again if I were you, said the jinn. You might say it often, too often. I want you to work. And the camel said hump again. But no sooner had he said it than he saw his back that he was so proud of, puffing off into a great big hump.
Yes,
Do you
beta.
see that?
Here
Said
I
the jinn.
wait, please. Here I will ask you to note down the difference of hump and hum. Okay. The sound the camel created, that is hum, PH. And what grew on the back of the camel, that is hum. Okay. So you should be clear about this also. Keep this thing clear. The sound is hum, PH. And on the back it is hum. Yes, Malvika. Yes, Malvika. Yes, continue.
Do you see that? Said the Jinn. That's your very own hum that you've brought upon your very own self by not working. Today is Thursday and you've done no work since Monday when the work began. Now you are going to work. How can I? Said the camel, with this hump on my back. That has a purpose, said the Jinn. All because you missed those 3 days. You will be able to work now for 3 days without eating because you can live on your hump and do not ever say I never did anything for you. Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave. And the camel went away to join the tree. And from that day to this, the camel always wears a hump. We call it hump because not to hurt his feelings, but he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, and he has never learned yet how to behave.
Yes. Now, what do we understand from the behavior of the camel? Yes, Mannat.
We should not be lazy. We should do all the work. We should behave properly.
Okay. In the second page, beta, check on the second page. All work is dignified. There is no such thing as mental work. Menial work, sorry. Menial means of low standard. He who struggles is better than who never attempts. All work and no play. Is it a good idea? William Faulkner, American novelist and poet, didn't think so. In his words, one of the saddest things is that the only thing that a man can do for 8 hours a day, day after day, is work. You can't eat 8 hours a day. All you can do for 8 hours is work, which is the reason why man makes himself and everybody else so miserable and unhappy. Now, what do you think about the work? What was your opinion, Sukhnu? Yes, Sukhnu.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think of the opinion of camel regarding his work?
Ma'am, firstly, the camel didn't like the work. He wants that he can't work. He said that he will not do work, but after he had got a hump, he had to do work.
Okay. Do you take it hump as a punishment or blessing? Yes, Jatin. Jatin. What does camel think of his hump? And what was Jinn opinion about the hump?
Ma'am, the hump was a blessing for the camel because he would be able to do work for many hours without eating and drinking water.
Okay, then why he was given this blessing? If we say it is a blessing, was it a blessing, or why did Jinn he just gave this hump to the camel? Do you think that he was in mood of giving some blessing or so? Yes, raise your hand, please. According to Jinn, was he thinking of blessing the camel? Yes or no? Yes. We need to be thoughtful. Raise your hands, please. Yes, Simran. Mannat. Okay. Yes, Simran. Yes, Vita.
Ma'am, according to Jin, he was not thinking of a blessing. He wanted to teach a lesson to the camel so that he could work like the other animals.
Okay. Reason being, why did he want to punish him?
Because he never worked like the other animals and he didn't bother them. He just said humph.
Okay. What is the relation of this hump and this punishment? Why did he give the thought of this hump? Yes, Mannat. What do you want to say regarding
Ma'am,
this? Yes.
Ma'am, the camel usually said hump when anybody asked him to do the work. So the jinn gave him the punishment by giving him a hump on his back.
As he was, we feel that, or the reader might think that he was proud of his back. He was proud of his look. He was ideal. He was proud, isn't it? He always, why the word behave is used in the end of the chapter. That's why this behave is because he always speak rudely to the other animals whenever they ask him to work. So it was hidden blessing in the form of a punishment. It was no doubt a punishment because the jinn, he punished him for his idleness. He had not been walking since Monday morning. He wanted to punish him, but it was in the form of blessing that without eating, he can work for the coming 3 days of the weekend. So that is imaginary. So let's start with the second part, second chapter. Yes, just Milan. Second chapter, children at work, so that we can, yes, Vita.
Ma'am, start.
Yes, Vita.
When the Kanyakumari Express pulled in at Chennai Central, it took Velu some time to get off. When he finally stood on the platform, his legs felt wobbly as he was still on a moving train. Oh, out of the way, a porter went by with a loaded trolley. Velu jumped aside. He sat on a bench on the platform, putting his small bundle down. In all his 11 years, he had never seen so many people except once a year at the fair in his village. People walked by bumping into him with their suitcase. A voice announced something on a loudspeaker. Near him, a group of people sat on their luggage, looking at a TV hanging from the roof. The noise was terrible. Velu put his hand down on his knees, feeling miserable and exhausted. He had run away from his village 2 days ago. For 2 days, he had eaten nothing but some peanuts and a piece of jaggery. In this bundle, he carried a shirt, a towel, and a comb. He had walked for most of the first day to Kannur and then got on the train to Chennai. Velu had no money for a ticket, but luckily the ticket collector didn't come to the unreserved compartment. He had tried to sleep on the floor near the door. A group of men next to him had played cards and shouted all night. "Eh, what new to town, eh?" called
Okay,
out a
okay. Yes. Pratyush. Yes, Pratyush. See, when you are not visible, na, the teacher doesn't know whether you are present over there or not. That's the reason you are asked to keep your videos on. Yes, Nandini. Nandini. Harshdeep.
Ma'am, yes.
Hanji. How was Velu feeling and why?
The Velu was feeling miserable when he stood on the platform as he was still moving on a moving train. He also felt miserable and exhausted because he had been traveling for 2 days and he had eaten nothing but some peanuts and a piece of jaggery.
Yes, nice. Okay. Yes, Jatin. What was the other concern? Why he was scared of, or we can say he was always in tension when he was traveling? What was the reason?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Why he was feeling scared, or what he was aware of, scared of? Was he traveling with his family?
Velu was scared of the people because it was a new place for him. It was the first time he had traveled alone in
Yes,
the train.
yes. And had he purchased the ticket? He was aware of the ticket checker because he had traveled without ticket. He had traveled without ticket. And we are here told about his physical condition also, that he had not eaten anything. He was feeling miserable. But a miserable is the situation related to our mental state. Two words are there, miserable and exhausted. Fine. He is hungry, he is exhausted, and he is worried about because he is not traveling with his family. He is alone on a new place. No doubt. It is correct. Yes. Jatin, continue reading. Yes. Now you read better. Yes. A. What new to town? Yes.
But new to town, a called out a rough voice. Velu opened his eyes. There were a lot of people standing around, but nobody was looking at him. Here, a he turned around. Behind him was a girl around his own age, wearing a long banyan that came down to her knees. Her hair, her hair was stiff and brownish, and she had a huge sack on one shoulder. She was picking up dirty plastic cups from the floor and stuffing them into her sack. Why is she calling him? Thought Velu. And why is the girl wearing a banyan? No need to stare stupidity. What's your name? Ve- Velu, muttered Velu, looking away. So, Mr. Velu, said the girl, looking at his bundle. Run away from home? Velu didn't answer. He didn't want to tell some strange girl what he had done. He had run away because he couldn't stand his father beating him for one more day. His father would snatch away all the money Velu and his sisters earned and spend it on drink. Don't you think I don't know? This place is full of children like you. So what are you going to do here? Become rich? She sat down next to him. Velu shifted away slightly. He felt hunger pinching him and pressed his stomach with a grimace. Hungry? Asked the girl. You won't get food uh, by sitting
Here, glumly.
here glumly, making
Glumly means
faces.
sadly.
I can find some if you want. She picked up her sack and started to walk away. Velu stayed on the bench. What should he do? Should he follow this girl? Where was she going to take him? She was disappearing into the crowd, so he had to make up his mind quickly. All right, he decided. Anyway, I have no idea where to go. He jumped up and ran after her. She wasn't even looking back to see where he was.
Yes. Mannat,
Yes,
start,
ma'am.
Start second part, beta.
He caught up with the girl as she was leaving the station. When they got to the road, Velu found that the vehicles kept coming and never stopped for anyone. Smoke and dust flew at him from all sides, making his head spin. They had to wait for a long time before they could find a gap to run through. Velu kept hesitating, and girl finally dragged him to the other side. What do you think you are doing? Grazing cows? If you stand around in the middle of the road like that, you will be chutney. Velu's heart was still beating fast. He looked back at Central Station and traffic speeding by. How had they managed to come through that? They walked along the side of the road under some huge signboards. Velu looked up at the pictures, bananas, car tires, pens, a woman holding a box. The writing was all in English, so he didn't know what it meant. The girl
Yes,
turned
yes,
onto
beta.
a wide bridge and walked up. Velu
Yes.
stood.
Wait, Mana. Simran. Yes, Simran. Yes, beta, you start.
Yes,
please.
yes, ma'am.
The girl.
The girl turned onto a wide bridge and walked up. Velu stopped and peeped over the railing. Under him, the road ran into the city. In the distance, he could see huge buildings and towers and more roads. See that big building with the wall around it. If you are not careful, you will be soon counting bars there. The girl grinned and pointed at a huge building. Meanwhile, the girl was already heading down the bridge.
Yes. Just Milan. Sorry, Simran, I feel some disturbance in here. Just Milan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, beta. You start from here.
Please read. Ma'am, can you please repeat?
Yes, start from this part, page number 11.
Okay, ma'am.
What does she mean?
You don't have to do anything, just don't get caught, that's all.
Yes, continue.
What does she mean, Velu wondered? Meanwhile, the girl was already heading down the bridge with the sack on her shoulder. It was in it. He had seen her putting plastic cups into it at the station. What are you carrying in the bag? Things, bottles, paper. Velu wanted to them, but felt shy to ask her and Velu's bare feet burned. It was not like walking on a mud road. He was soaked with sweat. He tried hard to walk in the shade and keep up with the girl at the same time. She walked really fast. How far away was the food? After almost an hour of walking, they stopped in front of a big building. Sri Raja Rajeshwari Prasanna Kalyan Mandap, read Velu slowly. A sign with letters made of flowers said groom, Jive Vinyagan, bride Rani. Velu stared at the big cars parked outside. One of the cars had a flower garland and roses tapped onto it. The girl looked around, pulled one off quickly and stuck it in her hair. Come on, she said. Are we going to eat here? Asked Velu, looking at the huge hall and the people inside.
Ipshita.
Oops, said the girl, shaking her thumb.
Ipshita.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, beta. You continue from here, page number 12.
Okay, ma'am. Hopes, said the girl, shaking her thumb under his nose. She led him behind the hall. There was a big garbage bin overflowing with rubbish. Two goats were standing on pile, fighting for a banana leaf. A cloud of flies burst around their legs.
There was a rotten smell in the air. The girl picked a squashy banana and held it out to Velu. Here's your food. Velu was shocked. Are you going to eat their leftovers? Chee, what do you think? I am a dog? I only take untouched food. Here's some more catch. She threw him a vada. Velu looked at as it with distaste. Come on, hero, eat it. You think I liked it? I told I will find you something to eat. Don't think I have money to buy food for you. You did better eat what you get until you have your own money. Velu, Velu hesitated, but his stomach squeezed him again. He gulped down the banana and vada. His stomach felt better immediately. He could have eaten at least 10 times more, but the girl could find only one more banana, which she ate herself. It's too early. They have only eaten tiffin. If you are still hungry, you will have to wait for them to finish lunch. You can wait if you want. I have to work. I'm going. She picked up a couple of bottles from the heap and threw it into sack. Then she walked off. Velu panicked. He realized that if the girl left him, he had no idea where he was and what to do. It was better to stick to her. She seemed to know her way around. He ran after her again. A, he called. He did not even know the girl's name. A, what? What is your name? He asked, hurrying behind her. He stopped and turned around. Oh, so you have been following me around even without even knowing my name, Jaya. I am not following you. What then? You who got your food? Can I come with you? Where are you going? Come if you want. This bag is full. I have to go home to get another one.
Yes, beta. Okay, best part.
Jaya,
Okay, okay, Kshita. Beta, in coming time, you are supposed to revise your grammar and antonyms and synonyms. Okay, vocabulary and grammar, I will have a test. Now, let me share the test with you so that you can fill the attendance form and do the test out.